And then Lifu needs to slot in with someone because you can't go alone. And other than that, I'm good.
Alrighty, well that's getting handled. Night Owl, get your company together.
I love it. My entire company is perfect. You guys are gonna rock it.
I love them.
I love you. Alrighty, we are going to push her to map screen.
Good luck, have fun.
Plugs the Minecraft server.
Night Owl's voice just exudes morale boost. It makes me happy.
Honestly.
Yeah, it boosts something else as well. It definitely boosts something else other than morale. I can tell you that.
Correct.
God damn it.
Yes,
That's what morale is.
Big
Yes.
facts.
My bass drum.
I was trying to be
Alright guys, we're gonna have to scream into our microphones.
And remember, gentlemen, keep it clean.
Loud.
It's not going on, boys.
Yeah, this is why we try to stay out of that channel.
Alrighty, can we get a
3-sector cache.
from
Alright.
Our mission.
We're gonna go upstairs. Sorry about that. As you can tell, they get very jumpy. I'm gonna play Homeworld tutorial for this one. Alright, perfect. Some nice lowbrow music. Blue 4 is gonna spawn in the circle. Green 4 has 3 caches, 1 in each of these areas to defend. We got a little military position right there in the town of Kakola. But quite a few defensive positions all around, which is nice. EU round 2 had a 3-sector fight in this area, and then last week EU had an op in, I believe, yeah, it was this area here. 1 terminal, and 1 terminal there, so. Let's see how things go. Lusting over Night Owl. Yeah, people do that in FNF, but I mean, with a voice like that, you know, it's just chocolate on the air. Now, I would assume these are 3 ammo caches, but we'll see once we actually get down here.
Here we go.
Yep, alright, it does appear to be 3 ammo caches. And they're all pretty close together, and it's on a plantation of sorts. Interesting.
Yeah, so according to the brief from the mission maker, BLUFOR is meant to be Australian Vietnam forces, which does reflect the kind of t-shirt and, you know, a little bit more boonie hat, lackadaisical vibe that they got going on. However, M16s and not fouls, kind of cringe. But apart from that, we have a decent BLUFOR force here. A lot of infantry, a couple helicopters, some trucks, and 2 M113s with the little M2 cupola going on.
Yep, the blast shields. We also have 2 Hueys as well, so that works. It's an interesting place they spawn, but what the heck? Yeah, it's a little training course, that's why. But BLUFOR is basically your standard run-of-the-mill 5.56 group, except they have little to no body armor at all. They just have the, gosh, what are those certain rigs called?
Alice?
Yeah, Alice rigging and stuff.
Alice webbing, I think, is the...
Yeah, the webbing.
But I believe Red 4 should be in the same boat, or rather Green 4, as far as... Yeah, same deal. No real chest plates, just some chest rigs. And he mentioned straw hats. I didn't think he meant straw fedoras, but hey, you know, to each their own.
Well, you gotta work with what you're given. So they're basically making Vietnam 2 electric boogaloo. I do like the straw hats, so that's a nice touch. What does concern me, though, is that Green 4 has AKs. So 7.62 to the standard rifleman against a faction with no body armor means that Green 4 is going to be a lot better at dropping people. But Blue 4 does have the numbers advantage, so we'll have to see how things turn around. Furthermore, GREENFOR, I'm looking for any sort of AT I can find. We do have RPG-32s, but their MAT team gun is the Igla to fight those Hueys. So, those 113s, you're probably not going to see a lot of AT go on them. Instead, GREENFOR is going to have to rely on sniping out the gunners, so that should be interesting. But GREENFOR doesn't... I don't see their assets at all. Yeah, I think it is just an Igla, if I remember what I wrote. So, yeah, just infantry versus aircraft and ground-based vehicles. We'll see how it goes. And I also love that, like, we're just on a giant plantation right now.
Yeah, this is something I would
versus banana farmers.
Like Rising Storm 2 or something, where it's just, you know, guys with some, you know, guys with
corn?
rifles,
This is
guys with
corn.
rifles. BLUFOR obviously does have the advantage, even though they're Australian, they still have the advantage of being.
Who the hell farms banana and corn?
You can still
and cocoa.
The gunner. There's a couple little holes in the side and the hole in the front with the blast shield. Now, if we're gonna be realistic, in the 70s, they wouldn't have this cupola, shielding, everything, that kind of thing. It would just be the turret, I do believe. But GREENFOR should still be able to deal with the those 113s very easily. If they're able to isolate them, get some fire going on the gunner,
and coconuts,
and knock him out, then it renders them pretty much, you know, it pretty much defangs them. So I think that's going to be good. I also love the little obstacle course that the BLUFOR spawn has over here to the south.
Yeah. So these farmers, by the way, they farm cocoa, bananas.
Oh, damn it.
Coconuts. I saw a rice paddy over yonder. It's to the north.
Pretty sure there's a corn. This is a
and corn. Yeah.
Corn.
Stop it.
Corn.
Please.
I know you're still a Neshi cultist, but I like corn.
Oh, I thought you were doing something else that was dumb. Anyway.
I mean, both of them were dumb, but yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'll shut up now. Yeah.
Alright, so, do you want to go over how BLUFOR is going to attack, or how GREENFOR is going to defend?
Well, I did BLUFOR attacking last time, so I'll take GREENFOR defending this time.
Alright, go ahead.
So, this is a search and destroy mission, which means that there are a number of caches for the attacking BLUFOR force to find and blow up through whatever means necessary. The first one on the west side is in a nice little HQ building, surrounded by some HESCO barriers and a plantation field. As far as the terrain, it's relatively flat, a few hills here and there, but I can really see, you know, in regards to the terrain, those 113s being really good for spearheading and breaking through certain defenses of GREENFOR. You've seen some sandbags and stuff and emplacements scattered along the plantation, like you mentioned. But without any real AT, it's gonna really come down to the personal skill of GREENFOR here to take out any gunners of those 113s. The 113s can carry, what, about 9 people in the back? Mm-hmm. So if they're able to breach in and unload about a squad or so of infantry near-ish this HQ building, I could see that doing well. The south has a bit of a water hazard, but the 113 should be able to traverse it pretty easily. Similar story with the north, but I really think with those 113s, they should be able to just kind of push in. Further on, it's going to come down to personal maneuvers and tactics on a platoon level. but there's not a ton of flexibility for either side. A lot of flat terrain, a lot of foliage, a few defensive positions to really focus on, but it seems fairly straightforward. The only thing I could see that really would put a kink in BLUFOR's plan would be if GREENFOR were to get a good position on the hills to the north of the plantation, or using the battle towers on the south side along with that kind of those hills on this. I would call those hills on the south side as well. So if GREENFOR is able to bait BLUFOR in effectively once they take the first objective and then kind of pick them apart as they try and push the second or third, I think that would be the best way for GREENFOR to defend this, personally.
All right. Well, with BLUFOR, we've got the 2 Hueys, we have the 2 113s. 113s are amphibious, so that does mean that BLUFOR can attack from any vector or go completely mobile around, and with this being a 50-minute round and the 3 AOs close together, that does mean they have quite a bit of time that they can do maneuvering. If I was BLUFOR, I would probably go for some sort of pincer strategy, because I'm not a fan of how the all eggs in one basket attacks go for a unified flank, because it just means that people can easily get picked apart. One note of worry, though, is that the AO itself isn't really filled with cover. Now, I wouldn't know that as the attacking commander, but that would be something I would have to adapt for once we actually get sight lines on the AO, so there's going to have to be a lot of smoke grenade use. But I would keep this simple. I would probably do a direct attack from the west, and honestly, looking at the angles, I'm going to retract what I said, actually. I would probably just do a full unified battle line, one group on the more northern side and one group more on the southern side of that entire western flank. Simply because there's rivers on the north and south, and the only alternative is I were to completely sweep my units around to the southern flank, which I'd only be able to comfortably do by air, because GREENFOR might fan out and try to watch the northern and southern flanks of the AO itself, because they have the opportunity to. So you might as well just go down the main gate. Maybe deploy a Huey worth of dudes on this opposite side to the east and have them push in and harass the rear, but otherwise I would keep this pretty unified. But that's just me.
No, and I agree with you. Using those 113s, especially without a larger threat of AT, like you said, there's still some RPG 26s scattered around, but the MAT team is that Igla to counter the Hueys. So I really do think that pushing in just kind of straight on from the western side of the AO is going to be the best thing for them to do. I would still, like I said, be concerned about the northern and southern flanks of those hills and the battle towers, especially on the southern side. Watch out for those for flanking fire and kind of striking you in your side or your rear. But yeah, using those 113s, I think, will be a pretty decent way to just kind of pierce in.
Let's go over these 3 sections. Let's start on the westernmost, and then head to the east. So easternmost is a big area that covers a lot of room, but it is focused on the HQ building here by the radio tower. What do you think about this for the defenders? How do you think they would defend it, and how do you think the attackers would have the best way of coming in on it?
The western one? Westernmost one?
Yes.
Hard to say. I think if the attackers were to, if you're looking from the objective itself, the southwestern hill where that guard tower is, will probably be a good way for the attacking BLUFOR to kind of survey the area, see the foliage that encapsulates it. Once they push down into the plantation itself, there are a few low stone walls that they can maneuver around and use for cover. But other than that, like you said, it's flat terrain using the foliage for concealment, not cover, and there's a big difference between the two.
Yeah, I mean, I love watching PvP on farms with, saplings and trees, because it's really easy to get completely screwed over in those types of areas, because there is pretty much no cover. It's all about who shoots first, who has the angle on who first, and I would love to see Green 4 do a proper fortification around that spot. But let's talk about AO number 2. I'll take this one. Really, it's exposed to the north. We got a little bit of defilade going up to it, but then it's all open field pretty much around it. I could see Green 4 fortifying the military base right next to it, making Blue 4 think that that's where the cache is and just have it be hidden by proxy. But there's also a few village buildings to the east that could also have a few guys in there just to engage anyone that comes down. Because, again, you have a lot of open area. I could also see maybe 1 or 2 guys hiding in the cornfields, but not too many because that would give you away. And I also love how we have a nice little bunker to the side right here that just is, I don't know, just right there, you know? Let's get a warm welcome. What do you think about Sector 3? Oh, go ahead, sorry, yep.
Well, just, yeah, with Sector 2, you mentioned, you know, having a bit of a false defense with that HQ building on the western side of the circle. The Blue 4 attacking team don't know exactly where the cache is, so if, we've seen it before where if Blue 4 defends somewhere that isn't the cache but is in the circle, the attacking side focuses on them and kind of assumes, but with good reason. So if they're able to replicate that kind of mentality on the Blue 4 force, that could waste some time, especially on the second objective, and possibly, you know, give Green 4 the win based off of time. But moving on to the third objective, this is very much a Tanoan little village, the head of the plantation, as it were. So you have a number of buildings, alleyways.
Yeah, sure, Baz, go ahead.
Very tight angles.
You got a minute left, though, so.
Fail funnel is the word that comes to mind, looking at all these little passageways, doors, windows, everything. Piercing this is going to be very tough, and with the cache itself being in the yellow building on the eastern side, it is on the ground.
Barb, your mic cut out.
No, sorry, I heard someone join. I didn't realize Bassbeard joined us. I thought something went wrong. No, all good. I just got confused for a second. No, the cache being on the eastern side of the objective area in the yellow building, I think will make it a bit harder for the attacking Blue 4 to pierce
identify it.
They gotta, exactly, to identify it. They gotta push through the compound on the western side, or possibly the compound on the northern side. Southern side, they've reinforced it with H barriers and bunkers, but still getting to there is going to be a task in and of itself.
It is exposed from the east, though, so if they get on those eastern hills and look in there with a scoped rifle, they could potentially spot it. Anyway, mission has begun. Bassbeard asked if he could jump in here and give us a rundown of the brief. So, Bassbeard, what do you got?
So when making this mission,
oh my god, why is he so loud?
I play a lot of Rising Storm Vietnam, and I love the mission and love the game. So with this new mission being involved in the new mod pack, I just had to give it a spin. There was this section of the map which had a lot of like fields, as you can see. It's like a plantation type building as you've gone over.
Had to turn them down there.
Initially, I had given Blue 4 a few more assets and had given Green 4 the advantage of 10% advantage numbers. The idea being that they spread out, they take on their overwhelming force by spreading out, you know, booby trapping, using the demolition blocks they have, using their engineers to the finest degree they can possibly do, but also they have the option of turtling. They can always peel back and hold these buildings they have. There's a lot of interior. Most of these buildings are enterable, which essentially renders the Hueys redundant because they can just hide in them. They can't be seen, they can't be shot, and the Hueys have nothing to report. They can't see no enemies, they can't shoot them. And then it just leads down to a CQC with the M133.
He's not a burly American.
Provide smoke cover. They can, as I think we've seen me do before, which is why I love the vehicles now, you can just go straight through whatever the hell you want and blast smoke out, and nothing's going to see you coming.
Speaking of which, sorry to interrupt you, but we're already having our first engagement. Forward element of Green 4 is pushed out to the hills about a half a click west of the first AO, and they're engaging Blue 4 before they even get close to the area of objectives.
This is exactly what I kind of envisioned for independent. Just go and slow them down, hit them, just start running. Take a few shots, start running.
Green 4 had a KIA though.
Doing.
That's
Vito going down.
Yeah, they did have a guy down. Took a bullet to the brain and never got back up. But still, I'd assume they're kind of playing the long game, working down the clock from the very beginning. Now that BLUFOR is, you know, they're not too far removed from their spawn, so the fact they've already gotten in contact is, like you said, Bassbeard, gonna slow them down a bit.
I don't think you really want to rely on a run down the clock strategy with how close the spawn was and how close the AOs are together. Also, BLUFOR did deploy a FAR team to the eastern side, as I figured they would, so they might be able to spot out the third cache and engage it, since GREENFOR seems to try to be proactive with a lot of its forces on the west to stop the main force coming in.
Ghoster with the Igla, looks like he got eyes on the Huey and trying to get a positive lock.
He can hear it.
Get it. He can see it too.
Yep, he's aiming for H1 right now. But he might get blocked out by the tree. If he looks right, he'll have a better angle on the other one. And he sees it.
Oh yeah, the other one is dead.
And it's flying away from him too.
There it goes.
That's going to be a hit. That has...
Goes out.
Yep. Engine's still good though, because it was away from him. It would have hit the tail. Real life, it would have torn that chopper apart by knocking out the complete back of the chassis, but he's still going to be able to fly with that. And the Mat Gunner, I believe, has 3 rockets.
That is accurate. He has one in the gun and 2 in the assistant.
Oh, Pierce is spinning around now. He's lost control and he's going to be spinning in a death spiral.
Yep, but what he's doing is he is gaining altitude. He's going to then, once he gets enough altitude that he's comfortable with, commit to a direction, and he'll be able to get out of that death tailspin. BLUFOR has also deployed 2 guys to the far north. I believe that is a marksman team comprising of Flood and Kevin. Let me quickly confirm that real quick. Yes, it is, and they got the...
sorry.
They have a 20-round Mark 14 with an MOS scope. And now you have that main force fighting with those GREENFOR guys that originally ambushed them, and they're now in defensive positions trying to further slow down BLUFOR.
Pierce has managed to pull himself for the auto-rotate.
Yep.
Sorry, the auto-torque. Although he is going to have to be sticking to 130 kilometers an hour to maintain that speed, otherwise he's going to start spinning again.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to find an LZ to safely land and then either go in a flood or try and repair it, but we'll see what happens. And yeah, I'm almost a little surprised at how forward GREENFOR is holding. We're actually seeing Nordy shooting backwards towards the east at Blade.
Hell?
I don't know why.
I mean, so far, GREENFOR has had 4 KIAs, and BLUFOR still has not had a single one, so GREENFOR needs to consider if this strategy is still viable. I just saw a 5th guy get dropped for GREENFOR. That would be Paladin and Echo 1. And GREENFOR, I think, has just been getting too much caught out of position here and picked off by BLUFOR. If GREENFOR keeps losing men, it's going to be a lot more likely that BLUFOR is just going to steamroll the objectives.
We have 2 different groups coming in from the south-southeast, as well as this further group to the east, coming in real close to Garrett and Ghoster, where the Igla was launched on Pierce's Huey. So I don't think they were quite aware that this was the position. I'm sure they heard the missile launch and went to investigate. But otherwise, this is pretty advantageous for BLUFOR, all things considered.
Ooh, Pierce crash landed back at spawn, by the way. So I think the other Huey's coming to pick him up. But they're still alive.
Yeah, they survived that, and East is patching up Pierce's wounds.
Alright, so GREENFOR still...
Sorry, go ahead.
They'll probably be the chopper guns, and they'll have a pilot, co-pilot, or be funneled to the front or at a different flank to just join as infantry. But BLUFOR, so far, doing really well, getting, I believe it's still 5 free kills. It's actually 6 free kills now, and GREENFOR hasn't been able to put a dent in them. So, interesting how that's working so far. But Green 4 now needs to take this to a guerrilla fight. We got Green 4 from the second central cache engaging the marksman team, firing at Green 4's forces. I'm not sure. It looks like Vonk got hit a few times by marksman rounds because I see some blood pooling under his texture. But let's see. Kevin, he's got a lot of dudes firing at him. He's being really reliant on the fact that no one has any scoped optics here. He's getting caught on a tree branch here, not realizing he is getting stuck on that. He just took a hit because he's still there. I don't know what he's trying to do here, but it's not working. That was kind of interesting to watch.
1-3 is not used in a more line-breaking position.
They're being used more as support assets here because they don't want to be blindly charged in and then taken out by some Green 4 guy that's left behind with AT. Because
they don't know that Green 4 doesn't have AT, which is kind of the crux of this all. Like I said, there's still some RPG 26s, but there wasn't any real RPG 7s or to AT roll.
We have Martin suppressing a battle tower with severe fungi, blade, and acid pantalones. That 50 cal can penetrate and potentially kill people. But I do love how Acid is, he's not at the exact western spot of the battle tower. He's actually in the center of it, bipoding and firing out, trying to suppress the gunner, as both are basically just trading rounds, trying to get a lucky headshot.
I'm loving what I'm seeing on the southern front. BLUFOR just firing blindly into the forest. Maybe a few traces or reports coming in.
Gunship coming in, doing a strike.
Level this fucking forest with whatever they have, but it's not effective at all. So they're wasting ammo, wasting time, wasting attention towards these flanks, which is just going to continue to slow them down. We're already about 10 minutes in.
Ghoster is trying to line up a shot on that second Huey, but if he fires, he might alert Ketch and Farks to come down and engage his position.
2-on-2 might be worth it for killing a Huey, but that's a decision he has to make.
Still not a single BLUFOR KIA. Vonk is now down for Green 4. We are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Green 4 kills. BLUFOR has had an incredible start so far.
Yeah, especially for an attacking team against the defending team. I mean, it sounds almost obvious.
If Potato was up there, I would have laughed.
BLUFOR's numbers advantage, having an early lead on Green 4's numbers is very reassuring for their chances of victory.
Look at the westernmost cache right now, and look at where Potato is. He's under the fortification, leaned over. That is such a cheeky spot, but that is expected from the defenders, so BLUFOR will have to watch their ankles. But with 7.62, he could easily knock someone to their feet and then get the headshot as they do the knockover animation. So really cheeky strategy there, and really hard to counter without blowing up the building, which in this case BLUFOR might want to try to Vide for with how everything's going.
Yeah, I don't think it's not a long-term play. It's very much he'd get a few people at best, but given their position, I'm sure that's what he's willing to do. Give his life for 3 others, potentially.
Echo now engaging with the easternmost garrison. We finally had a BLUFOR KIA. Upon Echo, that was Dr. Killinger. But we got sideways down, some grenades going off again. Green 4 doing their best to try to hide in the fields here, but it does not offer any good cover. It is merely concealment.
Yeah, and that was my concern going into this. The fact that it's all concealed.
Look at that beautiful battle line BLUFOR has here.
You know, a hot knife through butter. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean bullets can't pass through and kill them.
We could potentially have Ghoster and Garrett, though, come on the southern side of this BLUFOR offensive and do some significant damage. However, if they are spotted early by Farks and Ketch, who both have their binos out, but they're looking far, they're not looking close, they could potentially get shot in the backs themselves. But Green 4 really needs to rack up some kills here to start whittling down, because BLUFOR started with that 15% numbers advantage. And they've just been able to maintain it. And if they keep doing that and people trade 1-to-1, BLUFOR is going to have a very easy victory on this objective.
And yeah, now the
Concealment instead of cover, my bad.
Eastern side working their way into the most eastern cache. I don't know. This is a very interesting situation. The western front, which is much more heavily garrisoned for BLUFOR, they're gonna be able to push in a lot more easily with the attention of the back garrison drawn to the east. So this could be very easily a steamroll for BLUFOR now that they've gotten their, their gears going, and yeah, they're on that tail relative to the first objective.
GREENFOR starting to suppress Ghoster and Garrett's position. We also had an explosive go off there, miss PIDing, but we might see. So Garrett is trying to tap Valhallen. Valhallen quickly gets into cover here. Valhallen returning fire. And we now have Ghoster trying to fire in the back of BLUFOR right here. Not managing to land a headshot as the privates here have no idea what's going on. Olaf going around, not wondering what's going on either. So Ghoster still has the element of surprise here. Now trying to pick off pads. Now going for Olaf. Gets a few hits in his back. And Vormulk, he's stuck crippled. He might get knocked out. And there's that kill.
Ooh, good kill, good kill.
BLUFOR now making a smoke charge up to the westernmost cache.
Wow, yeah, I haven't seen one of these in a while.
Yeah.
Adding more concealment to the concealment that's already there is a interesting strategy, but it's going to work out for them because Potato's the only one there. And he's
GREENFOR, yep, GREENFOR has pretty much pulling back to the easternmost cache since it's the most defendable. And I believe they'll be able to repel the eastern attack. We do have people sneaking through the fields here for concealment. We got Mountain crawling up. And then I still think Ghoster and Garrett could do some significant damage on this flank because BLUFOR hasn't really noticed. But we might see Farks and Ketch potentially try to get behind Garrett and Ghoster and take him out from the rear. As I say that, Garrett gets taken out by the privates. Ryan finally noticed and got a great headshot there. And just getting suppressed right here. And Ghoster gets knocked out. I don't know from what. That could have potentially been Ketch. He's looking right at him with binos right now. Or it could have been Farks, who is changing his mag, so it's more likely it was him. So, great closing of the gap by BLUFOR there.
I think that was a straight round from Wiki or Guy Ferry. I think that was
Nice.
friendly fire.
Even, of course it was.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Their rounds are going straight over his head. Yep, I think that was friendly fire.
By the way, Potato's dead. But I don't see any dead bodies around him. And I don't see any blood around him, so I think he was just picked off as BLUFOR was coming close. And I guess they just saw him.
He was sprayed down by the M13. They just ripped apart the HQ building and they caught him in a
Nice.
Well, did he move inside to the inside the building?
No, he's still under it. He just caught a stray round from penetration, which just means he has really bad luck.
I'm not even seeing his body, but I'll take your word for it.
GREENFOR, we got 3 guys that are closing the gap here, firing on BLUFOR's northern attack group, not realizing they're right on top of some dudes. Fist not turning around to notice. Dreek now turning around. Fist still confused. He gets tapped in the head. Cosmonaut's turned around, though. He is now engaging.
Real quick, Potatoes in my chat. He was eating. He came back just to die. He was eating the building.
That's why you don't eat while you play FNF. Twig is down, Pop-Tart's down. Granny is trying to tap people. He might have been able to hit the gunner. No, the gunner in the 113 turned in. And now Granny's going to get tapped by Dreek. Nope, he changed positions. But Granny's taking fire forever. Pop-Tart's woken back up. Knocked out Warwick. He gets double tapped. Dreek's still up, frantically popping grenades, but they're a little on the far end.
Ooh, charge goes off. Charge goes off in the western objective.
Yep, and that takes out the first cache. Granny getting the kill on Dreek. Warwick waking back up, though, trying to line up a shot on Granny as he pulls back behind the tree. Grenade gets thrown. It's a little far. And that 113 is also pulling around. That's going to expose Granny to Warwick. Come on, Warwick, get the hit.
Other side, we have Twig King and... oh, wait, no, you were talking about that. My bad.
Yes. That's okay. We got Nemesis and Nafs coming up. They might be able to get a hit on the 113 as reinforcements here. Warwick instead deciding to bandage in the open. Fist is also going to be bandaging. Cosmonaut also bandaging. This gives Granny an opportunity to do something, but he's too fixated on the 113, not realizing there were more BLUFOR dudes that close by. As that's going on, we got BLUFOR trying to close the gap here on the easternmost cache, but they have a GREENFOR force that could potentially attack them from the south and try to do another flank. So GREENFOR doing their best here, but Granny's down.
Yep, both of them are down. Just Nemesis and Nafs, like you said.
Maz round going in the bunker. That fun guy and Severe are to the southeast. It hit the outside though, and had minimal effect. Hey Gore, how you doing? Potato got penetrated. He got turned into the meal.
To note about F&F missions is I'm not sure how it is from the commentator's perspective, but I play a lot on the infantry, and having meeting and playing a lot of these people, watching from the spectator side, it is kind of gut wrenching to see people you've played with, like friends you've made, fighting against each other and just tearing each
getting
other
the double taps.
in this big bid for the win.
It gets brutal.
It really does. Watching some of your friends just
gun
down others, just
It gets the juices flowing for me,
It really does.
So we got Charlie 2 for BLUFOR running right up to where Lazy Rug's position is. Lazy getting double tapped by Bucket's handgun. Jesus. And now they're coming up. They're tapping Lolo as well. Lolo is crippled. He's the GREENFOR marksman. He took another hit. And now you got Daniel and Edwin trying to roll away.
Up on the northwest side, Nemesis this play took down 2 people, got a kill from it, but now he's made himself
adjusting, engaging fist, mag dumps his head, Cosmonaut waking back up, and then immediately tapped by Nafs.
Very good teamwork from the 2 of them, and that's a good 2-man team taking down a 3-man team. Martin now with the 113, aware of that AK fire.
Yep, they're trying to look for him.
Pointing the turret back west. So they're in a very precarious position now, because that M2 will hurt them a lot more than their AK ever would.
I have no idea where Mountain died. He was pushing up here last time I saw him. So BLUFOR, meanwhile, that eastern group is actually pulling back. They've got the helicopter here. I think they're going to get extracted and potentially redeployed somewhere else. Maybe because they found that Boston, aka Ghoster, was killed with the Igla, so now they're going to be a lot more comfortable moving.
Nemesis is dead.
That sucks.
Yeah, Martin pulled up with a 113 and
tapped him.
Structurally superfluous new behind it.
Yeah, they're putting more rounds on him, but I think BLUFOR might try to just air assault another squad really close as AO. As, honestly, looking at the roster, not a lot of GREENFOR guys are still alive, and BLUFOR still has at least 80% of their force here. It's a pretty nasty bloodbath at this rate. Lolo trying to tap Vargan. But will Drake react? Shoot him. It's a headshot. Only got some body shot. There you go. Good job, Drake. Good job. I was just coaching Drake on shooting Lolo to the south. We had an explosive. Yep, that went on cache 2, and now there is 1 more cache remaining. BLUFOR now ready to encircle at this point, but they're going to start with a unified push from the west.
Yeah, BLUFOR's in a great position here with a strong attack coming in on both sides of the AO. Actually, no, not quite as much as I thought. There's still some guys over to the northeast that could come in on
this round went by quick.
Flank for GREENFOR. But otherwise, BLUFOR's main force is going to run right into these defenses that GREENFOR prepped for them. Not to mention the little village that they have going itself.
All right, yep, we got the helicopter mounted. It is coming in. It's got a full group of people loaded up in it.
Oh,
and it is flying super low.
Patriot.
No. No, he's actually going for it. Oh my God. AT goes in. BLUFOR mass deploying! What the fuck did we just witness?
I saw 2 people die from that explosion.
Of all the things I could have thought to happen when I made this mission, that was nowhere near.
Blackhawk down, Blackhawk down.
I think BLUFOR knows that they're winning and just did that to fuck with things.
Major East, it just mag dumped 2. Wait, I don't know if that was GREENFOR or not, actually.
No, Major East just killed a GREENFOR guy. He has a rice hat on. Major East bandaging himself, getting double tapped by Bart. Everyone, hold up, Patriot woke back up. That was... I mean, I guess that distracted for the rest of BLUFOR to come in, but...
Now they're pushing him.
I guess if you have the manpower to waste, why not?
Ooh, explosive charge comes out. Actually downs 4 people. That's the best
Oh, yeah!
in a long time.
It's a good one. Finally, a proper explosive trap. But now does GREENFOR have enough to repel the main BLUFOR charge here? I don't think so.
Firefighter wakes back up, but Germania, Montgomery, and Burial are all still down from that charge. That combined with the Huey, this might be BLUFOR's undoing.
Slim is one of the guys that died, by the way, in that charge, so he's saying he had fun.
For the time being.
So I got someone that was in the helicopter charge in my chat saying that was the most fun he's had in FNF ever so far. And I don't blame him, but that, like, from a commentator POV was ballsy, to say the least. Oh, man.
Witness me is a term I think of most appropriate.
Yeah, BLUFOR has their foot in the door here. We still got Patriot close by. He was bandaging himself. I think he's just hiding at this point. GREENFOR down to less than a dozen guys, 9 specifically, whereas BLUFOR probably still in 2 dozen. Actually, I lied. Naps came back as a marksman. He's on top of Rockies, firing in the backs of some of the BLUFOR guys as they move in from the west. Let me look at the map as well. That's it. So Bucket's coming from the south as well. Nursk and Marv, I think, were also from the southern side, so they cleaned up the rest of those GREENFOR guys. BLUFOR now has eyes on this cache. At least I think they do. All they need is to fire AT through the window, hit it, and they will win. But I think they're going to breach and clear this, knowing they have the advantage at this point. I mean, they got 9 free kills in the beginning. I'm not surprised. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like you said, down in front of it with an RPG-26. If Mannerheim pushes up, steals that RPG...
Explosive trap went off, but it was a misplay by GREENFOR because it knocked out one of their own dudes.
I don't think Mannerheim knows that Luna's here.
He doesn't care.
With a mag dump, as Martin just wastes the guy in the...
Luna thinks he's being suppressed, but in reality, he's just getting shot. The cache is just getting shot. Luna just watched Smed walk by. Sio's coming up. He's going to tap Luna. And yeah, I mean, that's going to be it. Misu wakes back up. But now here comes the mag dump. Rocket from Sio. He primes the law. And there's the hit. GG. Just as Misu got the kill on Sio, if he was a second earlier, he might have been successful. But
played from BLUFOR.
What the hell?
Surgical. This was surgical. Despite all of the bullshit that BLUFOR pulled for shits and giggles, this was really a textbook assault for the attacking team.
Pretty good mission, Bassbeard.
Thank you. Looking back on the initial assault, I was expecting a 2x2 trickle where they send in one force to kite away some of the defenders, and then they hit it with another bigger force from another angle.